I do too, actually. It's quite nice.
You shaved.
I gotta say that now that you've shaved your head, though, it really kind of brings out your beard.
Once I get it shaped, because the underside grows different than the rest, so it'd be like, eh. And that's where I cut it last time because I couldn't stand looking like whatever it was.
Daniel Bryan?
No.
Luke Harper?
No, Daniel Bryan was actually decent.
That's true.
Luke Harper's is decent too.
I like
Bray Wyatt's isn't. Bray Wyatt's just like,
Wyatt's is terrifying. But I think that's kind of the point.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about wrestling. Right?
Yes.
That's the plan?
We're going to talk about wrestling.
Okay.
We're going to talk about WrestleMania.
We are going to talk about WrestleMania. Which number WrestleMania is this now?
33?
33, is it?
I don't know. They don't. Vince McMahon doesn't want numbers on WrestleMania anymore.
Well, fuck Vince McMahon.
So it's that didn't come from me,
Fuck
Vince.
Vince
That
McMahon.
came from him.
I love you, Vince.
I love you, Vince. He's like the godfather of wrestling.
Kinda, yeah. Well, I mean, technically, wouldn't his dad be the godfather of wrestling?
No, he's the godfather. His dad was probably more the father of
Okay.
wrestling. I don't know.
Wrestling sprang from his loins.
I don't know. I mean, back then.
So his father was. I mean, if you want to get like specific, if Vince McMahon is the godfather of wrestling, Pacific. I said specific.
I know you did.
If you want to get specific, that makes Vince McMahon's father the father of the godfather of wrestling.
Oh, train. Oh, no. So we're gonna do a quick rundown of the card of the
he says.
Quick, as quick as we can get for like 14 to 16 matches.
That's gonna be insane. It's a good thing it is 4 hours. Fuck, they might go long.
It's probably gonna be 5 or 6 hours.
Yeah.
Well, if you remember last year,
Yeah,
WrestleMania last
it
year
went
was like,
long.
you got to the end, you're like, oh
Is it
my
d-
god, is it done?
Is it done? Am I dead yet? Oh my god.
So there's some things I'm looking forward to, and some things I'm
Not looking forward to.
nah. There's nothing I'm not looking. I never don't look forward to wrestling.
I don't think that's true. I really don't. There was a time, I mean, recently maybe not, but there was a time where you're like, WWE, ugh.
True. It's because everybody was the same. They were all the cookie cutter same.
No,
But now
within
looking back
reason,
at some of them, I'm like, gosh, I wish I would have started I wish I would have gotten back into wrestling like a year or two prior to when I did.
I literally missed, when I got back into wrestling, after events in my life allowed me to get back into wrestling, I had literally just missed the CM Punk wagon.
Yeah.
Like, I started watching, like, maybe the week after he left wrestling forever.
It was hard for me because I was, like, for those that know, I worked independence in Minnesota area for a while. I wasn't that good. I didn't do a lot of stuff. I was well liked.
He wasn't that
by people, but I wasn't that good or anything.
Never actually saw him wrestle, so I can't actually say that.
It's like saying Hulk Hogan was good. Like, Hulk Hogan was good, but he wasn't a good wrestler.
Fair.
So, I mean, I could do stuff. But at any rate, I did a show with CM Punk on. I did a show with Austin Aries. Not that they would ever remember me in any way, shape, or form, but I've met them at shows where I was a worker at the show, not a fan. So I know a handful of the boys that were there and that made it. So for me, it was extra special to see CM Punk on screen, or to see now Austin Aries or
these guys that you
Davari,
met who
or
are
guys that were working at shows that I worked at when I wanted to work, for the big leagues. And of course, I'm a scrawny guy, so I never made it.
Well, I'm glad we're doing this video, you and me, because you are the guy that like knows the industry, you know the terminologies, and I'm the guy that enjoys watching people beat each other up in tights.
Yeah.
And I don't know all the industry terms. I've gotten to know them, I mean, just because I've known you for the last more than a decade.
I think that's what makes our conversations about wrestling more fun.
Because half the time I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? Who? What? Where was this?
So WrestleMania has a long series. If you don't know what's going on, go find a video to recap what's going to happen at WrestleMania. Or just watch it because they'll spend 20 minutes recapping every match anyhow.
Before the match.
Before
yes.
the match. And if you're there and you've seen everything and you have a friend who hasn't, don't spend the whole match explaining the build up to the match so that they miss the match, John.
Please don't do that, John.
So
I actually have friends who are going to WrestleMania this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
They must be rich.
They're not. However, they have a hookup.
Oh. Okay.
they have a guy that works for the WWE in ticketing, and he was able to get them not free,
but cheap.
Tickets. Cheaper than what they are.
Still, just to fly down there and get hotel fare for the weekend. It's like,
they're both well-paid professionals.
oh, well,
Better paid than you and I.
Doesn't take much.
Nope.
So, quick run through. I'm going to do the maybes first. We maybe see a match between Samoa Joe and Sami Zayn.
Which is always an interesting, is always going to be an interesting dynamic because of their two vastly different styles.
Yeah.
It's always fun to kind of see, you know, the more power. I mean, Samoa Joe is just this big fucking brute of a guy. He's got all that
I'm so
power.
glad he's there.
But he's so fast. And he's so light on his feet. And, you know, I imagine, I don't know that I've ever seen him fly, but I imagine he probably could try successfully.
So one of my favorite moves he does
Yeah.
is he gets them into the corner
Yeah.
and he turns his back and he does like a flipping backward kick to the face.
Seriously.
Where he does like a backflip and kicks them in the face.
Okay, so that's
and it's
kinda badass.
brutal and it sounds horrible and it's really nice.
So
And
there you go. The man can fly.
I just wish, you know, not a take down on Joe because he's still phenomenal. I just wish he would have been in WWE 5 years ago.
Mm.
I mean, because he in TNA, his last like 5 years in TNA, he was a beast then. Now he's a little bit older, and he's still a beast, but he's got some wear and tear on his body from all those years wrestling. So
Yeah. So Sami Zayn and Samoa Joe should be an
yeah,
interesting match.
we're gonna go through these run through quick.
If it happens, we're super nice.
If it
We're
happens.
going to go through them.
Yeah, we'll come
Quick
back.
is not necessarily going to happen.
Usos just won the belts from American Alpha on SmackDown, so they're going to go back and they're going to probably have a rematch. Hasn't been officially announced. I'm willing to bet when SmackDown rolls around, it's going to be announced as their official match, which is kind of disappointing.
It's likely to happen in the pre-show, to be honest with you.
Yeah, like I like American Alpha, but if they want to get American Alpha over, they shouldn't not have them on TV for 3 weeks as champions. These are your champions 3 weeks in a row. We're not going to have them do anything.
Well, I mean, look at what they did with New Day. Every fucking week.
Yeah.
They had New Day, and that's partly because they were so much fun and so charismatic and so just ridiculous and over the top. And I know some people didn't like them for that, but
what made American Alpha good in NXT, they're completely ignoring on the main roster. So like, we want to cheer for them, but they don't give us a reason.
right, basically, their WWE is relying on their NXT fame to kind of put them over in the
And
the
then they
main
don't
roster.
put them over. They don't have it on the shows.
Exactly.
That's it. What else?
I love all the Gable puns,
Yeah.
and I hate puns, and I love all the Gable puns.
Yeah. And they're phenomenal athletes.
They are.
So I'm looking forward, like no matter what, when if they have a rematch at WrestleMania, even if it's a pre-show match, it's going to be a fun match because the Usos can go. Usos
are
arguably
kind of
the best
amazing.
tag team of modern era,
I would
and
agree.
American Alpha is they're phenomenal as well. I mean they're both Olympic caliber.
Well, and some of the I mean they're young and they're new, but if they keep going, if they keep going in the way that they're going, I mean they could certainly be in contention for some of the best tag team action that the WWE has right now.
Then there's the Andre the Giant Battle Memorial, blah 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 blah.
Memorial Battle Royale.
Yeah, that thing.
Which
who cares?
It's always kind of a clusterfuck. Although Baron Corbin's not going to be in it this year.
Which makes me even less likely to care.
I don't like Baron Corbin. I know you do.
Baron Corbin's I like bad guys. I like
know.
heels.
You like, well, and I usually don't mind. Like, I don't have the issue of like it's good or bad or whatever. That's
He's
usually
good in
not
the
my
ring.
problem.
He's we'll talk
He's
about him later.
Moving on. Anyway, Battle Royale. Who gives a fuck?
Cruiserweight Championship. Aaron Neville.
Aaron Neville. I don't know much, but I know I love you. Really?
What is Neville's other like? It was Adrian Neville.
It's Adrian.
Well, it's just Neville now. They dropped the Adrian. Adrian. And he's facing as Austin Aries, as we've spoken before. He's been the wrestler. Austin Aries to me should be on the main roster. He's an AJ Styles caliber performer. But yeah, that will be one of the matches I'd like to talk in depth about as we come back.
Moving on.
Alexa Bliss versus the entire female SmackDown roster.
There has been absolutely no communication to the fans about what that's going to look like.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Like, what is that? Is it
I have an idea.
Oh, you have an idea?
I have an idea.
Are we going to come back to this?
We're going to come back to
we're
my
gonna
idea.
Come back to this.
Come back to my idea. because I have a thought.
All right.
Because there's something missing from WrestleMania that's not anywhere on this show, and I think this is where they're going to do it.
All right.
Then there's a tag team match, Gallows and Anderson, the Club, the Bullet Club.
They can't, no, it's the Club. For legal reasons, they can't call it the Bullet Club.
Versus Enzo and Cass versus Sheamus and Cesaro. So then the next match is...
We don't really, I mean, there's, yeah.
Yeah.
Shit needs to be said, but it can be said later.
Cena and Bella versus Miz and Maurice. I know you haven't seen the build-up, and that's... Almost everybody was like, who cares about this? But if you've been watching the shows lately, now everybody cares about this.
Okay.
It's been good.
I mean, I've never seen Maurice wrestle.
She's a former Divas champion.
No, I know she is, but I've never
Not
seen
that that
it.
means anything because it was Divas champion.
Right. I mean, but, Nikki Bella's put in the work. And
Yeah. Maurice is actually pretty good from what I recall. That was during the era I wasn't paying too close attention.
Sure.
I've never not been excited about wrestling. The next match,
Moving on.
moving on.
Moving on.
Another big match, AJ Styles versus Shane McMahon.
It's going to be fun.
So the internet world community is like, that's a total waste of AJ Styles' talents.
Bullshit.
That's not even a
fucking
good.
shit.
That's not gonna be a good match.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why they're doing
Everybody
that.
on the internet is an asshole.
One word. Shane McMahon. If this isn't one word, one phrase. Shane McMahon
That's two right there.
versus Kurt Angle, King of the Ring. You want to know if Shane McMahon can actually have a good match? Because everybody's thinking. Well, we'll get back to this. We'll get back to
Yeah,
this.
we need
I
to
got thoughts on.
thoughts
on that.
Shane McMahon versus The Undertaker last year.
Well, yeah, and that's
really
everybody thinks
fucking
about
match.
that, and it was like it was a car wreck.
Well, yeah, but it was still a brilliant fucking match.
Yeah. So, but people are expecting a car wreck, and AJ Styles isn't a car wreck match,
No.
but it's we'll get into it.
We'll get into that. We'll come back to it.
We'll come back to that. Are we gonna come back to that?
I think we're going to come back to that. What's next? It just doesn't Shane McMahon.
Dean Ambrose.
Dean Ambrose.
Versus the person you love,
Baron Corbin.
Baron Corbin.
Now, as much as I don't like Baron Corbin, I do like Baron Corbin versus.
And you
Dean
haven't
Ambrose.
watched the build-up the last couple
I
weeks. You
haven't.
missed SmackDown.
No, I haven't.
You
But
didn't see him where he squashed Dean Ambrose with a forklift.
I like the two of them in the ring together. They play well off of each other.
He squashed Dean Ambrose with a forklift.
I heard you the first time.
Forklift.
Don't care. Dean Ambrose is fine. He's fucking crazy.
He is.
He's fucking insane. I've seen him in the indies. I've seen some of the shit that he used to do.
Sorry, I just picture the skill saw, the jigsaw,
The
meep
jigsaw?
to the face. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like wouldn't that go through the bone? Never mind. It's wrestling.
Yes, to answer your question, yes, it would go through the bone. Moving on.
The one, to me, this is the biggest match of the night.
All right.
The one I'm looking the most forward to see.
Okay.
Even though I'm pretty sure I know the outcome and it's not what I want.
Sure.
Kevin Owens versus Chris Jericho.
It's going to be amazing.
And nobody cares that it's for the U.S. Championship.
See, I didn't even know it was for the U.S. Championship until you told me.
They even
today.
threw it up like Kevin Owens like, I'll have a match against you, but only if you put your U.S. Championship on the line. And Jericho's like, okay, done. Next. Whatever.
I kind of forgot that Jericho even had the U.S. Championship, to be honest with you.
Well, he's got to defend it every 30 days or he'll be stripped of it like Naomi and Dean Ambrose and everybody else that gets stripped of the title after 30 days for not being able to defend it. Although, granted, he's defended at house shows, so there you go.
Well, but they're not televised, so they don't count.
Of course they count. He defended him within 30 days.
It's not my problem.
The rule came before there was a show every week.
Fair enough. Moving on.
Moving on. I guess this is... we should have put this in the maybe, but we're pretty sure it's going to happen. Seth Rollins and Triple H.
Oh, yeah.
In an unsanctioned match
It's
because Seth
clearly-
Rollins is injured.
Clearly a work.
It's, well... I think he hurt his knee, but it's still a
Well,
work.
no.
I think how bad he hurt his knee is the work.
Well, I think how bad his knee is currently is the work.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure he hurt his knee very bad. We can get back to this.
Well, you watch the... Yeah, anyhow.
Yeah.
The next one is probably the most talked about, most controversial match is Undertaker and Roman Reigns.
Let's move right past that one, because I have thoughts on it that can go on for a while.
Raw Women's Championship.
Yep.
Bayley. Charlotte Flair. Nia Jax and Sasha Banks. I have listed on there. I have Bayley versus Flair versus Charlotte versus Nia.
Well, and you were writing it down earlier, and I heard that, and I'm like, did he actually just do that? I'm just gonna let it go.
Versus Flair versus Charlotte. Wait a second.
Good God, if there
Sasha
were two of them.
Banks. Oh yeah. Then we have Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton for the World Championship.
That should be interesting.
And I guess this one's also kind of controversial. Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg.
There's a lot of people that are really not happy that Goldberg won the championship.
That's because Kevin Owens is amazing.
I don't think it's just that. I mean, I think it's part of it.
Well, there's the whole part-timer thing. And
It's the part-timer thing, but also he's kind of, I don't want to say a relic, because he's
so
obviously in really
the next
good
Monday
shape.
Night Raw is in Philadelphia.
Oh, Lord.
And Brock Lesnar and Goldberg are both supposed to be there.
Oh, Lord.
I think that Philadelphia crowd's going to eat Goldberg
Bill
alive.
Goldberg alive, yeah.
Like if they wanted Goldberg to be a heel,
This
is where they do it.
This is where
but
they do
it's
it.
not what they want.
Oh. Well, I mean, it's like trying to put Brock Lesnar over as a heel in Minneapolis. It's just not fucking
gonna happen.
happening.
Yeah, it's not happening. My thought is they if they were going to give Goldberg the belt, I mean, it's only like 4 weeks. Have him come in and do a squash match defending the belt for 4 weeks in a row.
Right.
Have a match, squash a guy, I defended my belt. Have a match, squash a guy, I defended my belt. It's not too much work to go spear jackhammer every night.
And it's pretty obvious that, he's capable of even going against high caliber. I mean, they have it set up where he's capable of going against high caliber guys. I mean,
Yeah.
he took out Brock Lesnar in less than a minute 30.
Yeah. And they can do it in a way where they're not, just like, they don't have to destroy, like, their main guys. They could be like, Big Cass gets a match for the World Championship against Goldberg.
Or even Rusev.
Rusev gets a match against Goldberg for the champion. It doesn't have to be Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns every night.
Or Mark Henry, who apparently jobs these days.
Yeah, Mark Henry. Big Show would have been awesome.
I would
Big
want
Show
to see
gets
an
a World Championship
actual match with Big Show, though, not just a squash match. I want to see him versus Bill Goldberg, as they both are right now.
I just would want to see the match because it's straight from WCW.
Right. But just,
So.
God. But even, like, Big Show's even said he's in the best shape he's ever been in.
Yeah.
Goldberg is in
Ever
great
been in
shape.
since, like, high school.
Well, yeah,
He's
since he
been
was a
a
kid,
basketball
basically.
player. Since he was, in high school and he was still 6'8" as a 17-year-old.
What the fuck is that about?
So, we'll just backtrack. Brock Lesnar, Goldberg. I think the big deal with Brock Lesnar and Goldberg is they're two part-timers. A lot of people don't like that. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's just for story-wise, you need to be invested. I understand a lot of people are friends. I don't like the fact that he's not defending the belt or he's not on the show every night. I'm old enough to remember that Hulk Hogan, you'd only see him once every 2 or 3 months when he was champion. He did all the house shows and stuff.
Sure.
But you didn't get a world championship defense on TV. You didn't even get the world champion on TV for like 2 months. That was standard back then. So this ADHD modern world of, oh my gosh, the world champion missed a week of Raw. I don't care. When Brock Lesnar had the belt, I thought it was great. As long as he defended it every 30 days or
And
whatever
he was
it
a
was.
heel.
And he was a heel. So
Part-timer is great for heels.
Yeah.
Because of the modern era, because the people are like, well, I really don't like that he doesn't defend the belt every week. And da-da-da-da-da-da. Well, having a part-timer in that heel position have the championship is fantastic because that just kind of adds fuel to the flames.
Yeah.
The part I am most glad about with part-timers, I don't give a shit. I don't care who has the belt, to be perfectly honest with you. I haven't been really that interested in the title scene of wrestling.
Well, and I think that's the problem. Is we don't care about the championship belt. They don't make it matter.
Exactly.
When like we were talking about CM Punk, when he held that belt for a year, we cared about that belt.
Yeah.
Like it mattered.
I remember reading like reactions to that and about that and all that stuff during, when I wasn't watching wrestling.
Yeah, when they just throw and they just threw the belt on Brock and Goldberg. Brock and Goldberg, they didn't need a belt to make this match worthwhile.
No, they could have done completely without a title reign.
I think Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho should have been for the world championship.
Sure.
That would have made that match more compelling. We'll get to the fact that the U.S. Championship doesn't mean shit for that match. They don't need that match for the match.
They don't need
It makes the belt a little bit more interesting, but the story hasn't been about the belt.
No.
The people with the belt, the story should be about the belt and how people want the belt.
Exactly. And right now, it's not really a coveted item.
And that's why the Raw's women's belt is valuable, is because it's about they want that championship.
Yep. Which is why, well, and I think it's also why the women's division has been, in some cases, much more intriguing than some of the other. I mean, it's way more intriguing than IC or US belts, in my opinion.
Okay.
And like, I'm enjoying the tag scene.
I'll disagree on the IC belt, but okay.
Okay, so the IC belt kind of depends. Like right now, it's more interesting than not. But I would say that, like, at least with Alexa Bliss and her,
Well, the SmackDown women are
just fucking
yes,
amazing.
the Raw women, the one or two that are on the show, when they get their like Sasha and Charlotte, Hell in a Cell, okay, that was amazing. Their big long match, that was amazing. Yes, but that was just two people. That roster isn't very.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, it seems like they took their entire Raw roster and they're wrestling for the belt on Raw.
Yeah.
Like there isn't any other but.
The women's division in SmackDown is amazing.
And that's one of the things. It's like, why are they having a four women match? Like, both women's matches are basically the champion versus everybody on the roster. It's just Raw only has four women
Right.
that are decently established. So.
Anyway, what was the next match?
Oh yeah, because we don't really have anything else about Goldberg or Brock.
Really don't.
No.
I mean, it's
It'll be fun. I hope it's somewhere between 5 and 10 minutes.
right.
Anything over that will be like WrestleMania 20 all over again. Anything
Right.
less than that will be disappointed by it, and it shouldn't be the main event of the show.
It will be, but it shouldn't.
Yeah,
be.
it will be. Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton.
I kind of don't care who wins. I think either one. I kind of like the age of Bray Wyatt, as champion. Kind of dig that, but like, it would be of more interest to me if being champion in the division actually, like the champion actually had some say with the way things are run.
Yeah, I think. Sorry, I don't have anything to expound on.
Well,
that.
I just they always talk about JBL in particular is guilty of this. Like when Dean Ambrose, every time he wins a title or something like that, can you imagine what the world will be like if this lunatic wins? The world doesn't fucking change.
No, nothing.
The world
changed.
of wrestling doesn't change. It's just
Oh my God, he's the face of the company.
yeah, it's Dean Ambrose with the belt. It's Dean Ambrose without the belt. Nothing really changes except for his wardrobe. And not even that. He just wears the belt or doesn't.
He doesn't. Oh yeah, he does wear them. Anyhow, yeah, I don't.
Sometimes. Most of the time it's over his shoulder.
Or he just drags it.
Or he just drags it.
So, I think there will probably be some cool entrances for this match.
Oh yeah.
I am more interested in the match they have.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Because again, slightly different styles.
To me, it doesn't matter who wins. Doesn't matter who loses. Either way, I'm good. I'm good with both of them.
Yeah.
I it's going to be a really good match because both guys can get in the ring and they can do some amazing stuff.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, Randy Orton is a veteran at this point.
Mhm.
We may not be used to him being
a veteran.
but
We have
he's
to-
the old school guy now.
We have to accept the fact that we're old.
Yeah, I
He's
mean,
a veteran.
yeah, there aren't many people from that era left. You've got, I can count four maybe. There might be more. I might be off.
Like regular full-time on the roster guys.
Undertaker, John Cena, Jericho, Randy Orton.
And the only people who are actually consistently putting in the work are Jericho and Randy Orton. And Randy Orton.
Well, John Cena.
Oh, no.
Recently,
No.
maybe not recently.
Not recently, but he's been. He comes and goes almost as he pleases. I mean, he's almost as bad as The Rock.
No,
He was.
not yet. Not
Was.
yet.
Oh, but he's gonna get there.
Yeah, he'll get there.
I mean,
But I mean,
he's-
Jericho leaves for 3 years and then he comes back.
Well, yeah, but he's fucking Jericho.
He's been back for whatever. I mean,
He's
that's
been back for like almost 2 years at this point.
a year and a half.
A year and a half.
Because he came back just before Royal Rumble and
That's
fought
right.
AJ Styles, and they built up that feud with AJ Styles.
That's right. And we weren't really sure if he was coming back as a heel or a face. And
We
then-
didn't think he would last after WrestleMania, and here it's a WrestleMania
Yeah,
a year later.
yeah.
And he's had arguably the best run.
One of the best runs that I think he's had in his career thus far.
But yeah, it's just Orton is one of those guys that's from back then. Like he's
My only issue, and it's not even really an issue that's his fault. It's just he keeps getting hurt.
Bray Wyatt's injury.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
not just that, but like Randy Orton keeps getting hurt. Like he'll come back for a few months, and then he'll get some kind of injury, usually in the shoulder or back region. He'll be gone for a few months, and then he'll come back again. And again, I can't blame Randy Orton for this because it's you never know when an injury is going to happen. But he seems like, also with Seth Rollins, he seems very injury prone, and that's
Seth Rollins only had the 2 injuries to the same knee. It's just because it's in the same.
it's because it's in the same knee that it's a problem. But that's, it just
and
seems...
and the only reason Orton was out last time was because he had that brutal match with Brock Lesnar where they're like, well, Brock Lesnar can use his elbow to bust you open legit.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he can, but guess what? It took him 3 hits, and now you've got a concussion. So, yeah. And I think this is his payoff. I think this is Orton's payoff for what happened with Brock Lesnar.
I think
main event of...
Yeah, I think Orton really, now that he's been back for a while and has done it, I think he really kind of did put in the work this last time around. Not to say that he hasn't in the past, because he definitely has, but there was a span there. Because remember, I've only been watching wrestling really, again, for about 3 years. A little less than 3 years at this point.
And not in the last 4 weeks.
Not in the last 4 weeks. I'm sorry, I have a writing deadline at the end of this month. But
You should have gotten it done a month ago.
I should have gotten it done a year ago. But that's notwithstanding. The point is that when I came back, he was out on injury. And then he came back for a while, and then went out on injury. And he came back for a while, and then he went out for another reason. It wasn't an injury, though. I don't remember what it was.
Probably from a movie or something.
Probably. I don't know. He hasn't been doing quite the caliber of movies that some of the other guys have been doing, unfortunately. But either way, like, he seems to have kind of come and gone a little bit. But now that he's been back for a while, because it's been, what? He did the whole build-up with the Wyatt family, joined the Wyatt family, so it's got to have been at least 4 months.
It's been quite a while, yeah.
Yeah. I think that he's really kind of paid his dues, and I'm actually very pleased that he's going to be in this match with Bray Wyatt. And like you said, I don't actually care who wins.
No.
I just want to see what kind of matches it's going to be, because it's going to be
I want to
amazing.
watch the match, so hopefully our friends don't through the whole thing.
You know they fucking will.
Let's make jokes the whole time. No, I want to watch a fucking match. Shut the hell up.
Just sit down on the floor with me. It's a lot easier that way. Yeah, you get puppies in the face, but they're a worse thing.
Bailey, Flair, Charlotte, a.k.a. Bailey, Flair, Sasha, and Nia.
It'll be fun.
Shut up, yo!
It'll be fun. It'll be a fun match. Watching Bailey work is always an entertaining.
I don't care.
I like Nia Jax, but only because she's, because of what she represents.
I've got no investment in this match.
But I think Bailey's hot, so that's kind of my investment.
I think Sasha's hot, but I still don't care.
If
If Charlotte was still the champion, and she still was undefeated at every pay-per-view, and Bailey was still struggling to get that match, to win that belt, I would be very interested in this match.
Sure.
But Bailey won the match.
Charlotte lost a pay-per-view.
And Charlotte lost to Bailey at the pay-per-view.
Yep.
I don't care.
So
there's nothing to make me interested or care about this match. Like,
going back to, this is completely unrelated, but this is how we work. Going back to Sasha Banks being attractive, I do find her attractive. Unfortunately, the first time I really was introduced to Sasha Banks in any kind of meaningful way was at WrestleMania last year, where she came out with Snoop Dogg. And it was announced that she is Snoop Dogg's cousin.
Mm-hmm.
And in profile, they look exactly the fucking same. And now every time I look at her, I can't not see Snoop Dogg. And I'm not attracted to Snoop Dogg in any way, shape, or form. I like Snoop Dogg. I think it's entertaining that he's involved the way he is, and I think some of what he does is very, very fun. I just don't want to fuck him. So I can't look at Sasha Banks without seeing Snoop Dogg out. This is a problem. Moving right along.
You're fired.
I'm also blind. What do you expect?
Undertaker versus Roman Reigns.
Controversy.
So the internet mind is blown because everybody it's classy to hate Roman Reigns, and Busted Open Radio and Bubba Ray Dudley had quite a bit to talk about this. Personally, when I go to a wrestling show, if there's somebody that I don't like and they're a babyface, I just won't cheer. I won't boo them. I'll cheer the heel and I'll boo the heel and I'll cheer the good guy. That's my job as a fan, is to cheer for the good guy and boo for the bad guy. If I don't like them, I'm not going to respond.
Right.
Because silence is your way of telling them that you don't care.
Right.
I like Roman Reigns. He's great in the ring, but he's a heel.
Whether he wants to be or not.
Like, they need, and no matter what they do, so here's my problem with Roman Reigns, real quick, before we even get into the match.
Please do.
They don't build him. They build him wishy-washy. He's not a babyface. He's not a heel. So they'll do something and go, oh, this is something dirty and dastardly. This is something we should boo. He's a really good guy. We should cheer him. He's the underdog. He's the whatever. You keep making it wishy-washy on me.
What am I supposed to do?
What am I supposed to feel? If I don't know what I'm supposed to feel, if I don't have this feeling, then whatever. I don't know what to feel. I don't care. But these days, people are smart enough to know what they're doing, to go, this is confusing. I don't like what it is. I'm going to boo because it's confusing.
Right.
They aren't booing because they don't like Roman Reigns.
I'm sure some of them are booing.
Some of them are booing because they don't like Roman Reigns. But they just don't like what they're doing with Roman Reigns.
And that's, I think you hit the nose on the head. Yes, that's the correct term.
Hit the nose on the head?
Hit the nose on the head. Hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
With a Superman punch.
Yeah.
I've liked, ever since I got back into wrestling, I've liked Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns has never had a bad match.
I 100% agree with you. He's never had a bad match. He puts in the work. He's great in the ring. He's fun to watch. He's, he is that kind of big badass guy that basically every single one of my role-playing characters is based on.
Yeah. He's all of your characters and who you wish you could be.
Pretty much. I don't know if he's...
So you might not sleep with Snoop Dogg, but Roman Reigns...
I'd grab that hair and fuck him from behind. Bite the pillow, Roman. I'm going in dry.
So he's having a match against The Undertaker, and the big argument... Well, you're the one that leaves your freaking thing on. I just hope nobody calls me because we're recording on my phone.
Valid point.
I hope... The problem is that The Undertaker is... He's up there in age. And people are worried that he's not going to be able to go.
Mid-50s right now?
Yeah. That people are worried, it's going to be, he's older. The guys from Busted Open and a couple other podcasts have said, I don't care about the match. I want to see the entrances. I want to see the finish. Listen, Undertaker's not going to have a match if he can't go. This is the guy we're talking about that had 3 broken ribs, put a flak vest on, duct taped it tight, and went out there and had a pay-per-view match with broken ribs. He's going to go out there and he's going to destroy that match. And he's going to go out there with Roman Reigns, who, as we've said, has never had a bad match.
Right. And what the cool thing about Roman Reigns is that he makes losing look awesome. And he makes winning look awesome. I think that's part of the reason why we've been saying he's never had a bad match. And that's really, when you're talking about sports entertainment, that's really what you're looking for, is you want to make whatever it is that you're going to be doing, losing or winning, you want to make it look really cool.
Well, it's said, and Corey Graves said it on one of the WWE Network shows, is that, and I think it was Corey Graves that said it, there's a match with Roman Reigns, right? And everybody's like booing him and booing him and booing him and whatever, and then Roman Reigns, and they stop booing him as the match progresses. And by the end of the match, everybody's invested in the match, like, this match, whatever. And then the end of the match happens, and you get the predictable, the Superman punch and the spear and the 1, 2, 3, and everybody jumps to their feet and goes, we're supposed to boo him, crap, boo! Boo, yeah.
I would say that is not even, that's a very accurate assessment of how a Roman Reigns match goes. So,
and when you watch it, that's exactly what happens.
That's exactly what happens. So, him versus The Undertaker, who The Undertaker is...
It's going to be different.
It's going to be different, but I think it's going to be amazing.
The Undertaker's not going to be a heel. The Undertaker can do whatever he wants. He could sacrifice a puppy on the stage and people will cheer him. So no matter what happens, Undertaker is not getting booed.
No. Reigns is going to get booed.
Reigns, no matter what he does,
Yes.
is going to get booed.
So we know who the heel
Reigns
and the face
is the heel regardless of whether that's what they want.
Right. Well, and I have to think, I hope they recognize that fact. I hope that they at the WWE have their at least enough of a presence of mind to be like, okay, no matter what happens, the Undertaker is going to be the hero of this piece. And Roman Reigns as his opponent, as the one who's stealing his gimmick.
Well, his biker taker version.
His biker taker version of this is my
yard. Yeah.
Like, he is going to be the heel in this match. I hope they recognize that fact, because that's going to make it a whole lot.
That's what makes the match, and a lot of people, like we were talking about earlier, caring about the outcome of the match or the middle of they talk about the beginning, the middle, and the end. Whether someone is a heel or a face is what makes that middle part matter.
Right.
That's what helps tell the story in the ring.
Right.
If they're a good guy or a bad guy, it's what makes you invested. If both of them are bad guys, if they're good guys and bad guys, then
you might actually care.
You might actually care. So
with that match, I actually don't care who wins.
I don't care who wins.
I
know what's going to happen depending on who wins.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure I know who's going to win.
You thinking it's?
Oh, I'm pretty sure it's going to be Roman Reigns.
You think it's going to be Roman Reigns? Okay. We were talking off camera about this match in particular, and we had mentioned that now that Brock Lesnar has broken the streak, that the uncertainty has returned. And I actually mentioned, like, at the time I was like, why the fuck would they do that? But now I kind of look back and it's like, actually that move was brilliant because you never really know.
Yeah, now you don't know. Undertaker could lose at WrestleMania because they already broke the streak.
Right. So there is that uncertainty.
But there's also he had the streak because it was so many matches in a row. But they can still keep adding to that tally of whatever and
how many he's won
at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
he's
So I mean, and I do enjoy that. I do enjoy that. I do enjoy that Paul Heyman has taken he's the one in the 21-1 or the 22-1 or whatever.
25-1.
25-1. I enjoy that he's taken that and run with it. But that uncertainty has returned. Like, Undertaker can and will lose if the moment is right.
Well, and they had the forethought at WrestleMania to make sure that Brock didn't beat Roman and Roman didn't beat Brock for that championship when Seth Rollins cashed in.
2 years ago now, but yes.
But you get that feeling that Brock was going to destroy Roman, and he did. But now they're building Roman up.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling that now, looking at the thing right now, we've got Brock and Goldberg. Goldberg's probably not sticking around. Brock's probably going to win the belt and keep that belt. Whether he holds it, whether Brock holds it till next year or not, I don't know. I don't care. I hope he holds it all year long. That would be great.
Absolutely could do it too.
And if Roman Reigns beats The Undertaker, now Brock has beaten The Undertaker and Roman has beaten The Undertaker, maybe that puts Roman on the same playing field as Brock, and next year it can be Brock and Roman. And I would watch that.
Or even SummerSlam. I mean,
yeah, SummerSlam.
I could see it one of the other big four.
Yeah.
Probably SummerSlam would be my guess. I mean, SummerSlam, after WrestleMania, SummerSlam is probably the biggest event in wrestling.
Yeah.
Sports entertainment in general. So, I mean, I could see it happen there. But yeah, no, I agree with you. I think that would be an interesting, because they were both, we're the ones that have both defeated The Undertaker. Now we will see if we are capable of blah, 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 blah.
So I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen. If it doesn't happen, I'm cool with that too.
Mm-hmm. I'm actually cool with whoever wins in that particular match.
Yeah. I just want to make sure, I guess the only thing I'm worried about is, like I said, Undertaker's the kind of guy with 3 broken ribs, he'll strap a flak vest on and duct tape it on there.
Are you worried this match is going to kill him?
I just want to make sure that they're safe. I don't want Undertaker getting hurt because he went out there when he might not have been
and that's
physically capable.
I don't know of anybody who's come out of a Roman Reigns match permanently injured, like had to be put on injury. Never happened with Rollins.
No, that's a good point. That's a fair point.
I think
But it's WrestleMania, so everybody wants to take that extra step.
They want to take it up that extra notch and raise the intensity a little bit. But again, Roman Reigns has now been in at least 3, or this is, I think, his 3rd WrestleMania, isn't it? Anyway, doesn't, but like 3rd where he's really been kind of on the grand stage, like where he's been in that kind of title running like fighting guys like fucking Brock Lesnar and The Undertaker. This is the third one where he's really kind of been at that level.
He's the guy.
And he's
Not the man, he's the guy.
He's the big dog. Like, fuck
Yeah,
you.
we call him the big dog. Don't call him the guy.
I just,
I'm the guy. I'm not a good guy. I'm not a bad guy.
I'm just the guy.
Fuck that.
I can't imagine that was his.
Speaking of Seth Rollins.
Speaking of Seth freaking Rollins.
Seth freaking Rollins.
I actually kind of enjoy that.
Triple H's
that gimmick, yeah.
Triple H, Seth Rollins. Will they have a match? Will they not?
Of course they're gonna
If they don't have a match.
They're going to have a match.
If they don't have a match.
They're going to have a match.
If they don't. Well, let's put it this way. If Seth Rollins isn't physically capable of pulling off a full match, what's your alternative? I mean, we don't want him to just come out there and throw a couple punches and call it a day. Have somebody come in and interfere.
Seth hits Triple H's limo with the truck? I got nothing. I really don't. There's going to be a match.
What about... Because they haven't done anything with Samoa Joe for sure yet. We speculated a maybe.
True.
What if Triple H comes out and is like, oh, I've got Samoa Joe. Oh, it's an unsanctioned match. We're going to beat the crap out of you. What are you going to do about that? And then Finn Balor's music hits.
That would be lovely.
Because Finn Balor has been cleared to wrestle and he's been doing house shows. They just haven't had him on Raw.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't it be awesome to have him just show up at WrestleMania?
That would be. Because he actually never lost the belt.
No. But I mean...
Forced to vacate it.
Yeah. Cause,
that'd be interesting.
or if it's, Triple H and Samoa Joe and Kevin Owens.
Right. Didn't Finn Balor and Samoa Joe had a history in NXT, right? I thought they did.
Yeah.
That would be
So,
interesting.
I don't have too much on Triple H and Seth Rollins. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be a fun match.
Triple H is going to have some weird thing. Hopefully it's not Terminators in a stupid suit again.
I didn't really like last year's either.
Oh yeah, the
Or was it? No, that wasn't last year's.
Last year was the Stephanie McMahon speech.
Yeah, her special. They're basically her gladiator speech, and I was just like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. But Triple H always has some sort of special entrance.
Right. Well, unfortunately, Motorhead can't be there, but sad.
Best match of the night. Best one.
I don't necessarily agree.
Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens.
Okay, yeah, best match of the night.
Best match
I
of
thought
the
you were
night.
talking about Dean Ambrose and Baron Corbin, and I'm like,
No.
nope.
I don't need to say anything. This match sells itself. This match tells its own story.
It's
the longest running real story that's been going on.
The most interesting one at any rate.
It's the most interesting one. It would have been worth more if it were for the belt, the World Championship.
The World Championship, not
or
the US.
the Universal Championship of the US, because it's kind of a throwaway. The story is bigger than the US belt.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, technically, they don't need the World
It
Championship.
would have been bigger than the or the Universal
Yeah.
Championship too. I mean, that's
the story is bigger. either
I
way.
did like this last week when Jericho had a picture of Kevin Owens at the age of 16
with a Y2J
with
shirt.
a Y2J shirt on at the age of 16. And
Well,
it made me
it's
realize how much older than I am than Kevin Owens.
Well, and Chris Jericho is the most over guy in WWE right now. He is the most over. He's everything he does he turns the word "it"
into a thing. No, I know.
He turns a clipboard and a list into a thing.
The only other person I can think of that might be more over than him is The Undertaker.
Undertaker's over, but he doesn't get quite the
Jericho,
reaction.
well, that's the thing though, is that Jericho is in it. Like, he's there week in
He's
and week
in
out. It! He's there week in and week out, putting in the work, and The Undertaker only shows up for WrestleMania because,
it's special because
he's
it's
paid
The
his
Undertaker.
dues. I mean, he's definitely earned the right to be like, okay, I'm just doing WrestleMania because I'm old.
But the list of Jericho,
Yeah.
Drink It In, Man.
Get in, man.
I mean, everything Jericho touches in this last run has turned to gold.
Absolutely.
Including Kevin Owens.
A sexy
Kevin
pinata.
Owens is great. Yeah, the sexy
Sexy
pinata.
pinata.
Everything Jericho has touched has turned to gold, whereas Kevin Owens has just maintained being Kevin Owens the heel.
Right.
And so when Kevin Owens turned on Jericho, it was perfect because Jericho was over. He had to fight the audience to do things to make him booed
Yes.
with the things that are
Yes,
over.
he had to be so much more evil than he would normally
He's like,
have to be.
no, this town's not worth being in the list. So he wouldn't say the catchphrase, so he would get booed. So, and of course, Owens turning on Jericho. I mean, there isn't a
beautiful.
Yeah, it's
It was beautiful. The match is going to be amazing. I don't
match
care
is
who
going to
wins.
be great.
I don't care who wins.
Jericho is a master when it comes to a match.
I know.
Jericho's going to lose. You know Jericho's going to lose.
Okay, yeah, but Fozzie's going on tour too. So
Exactly,
that
and
kinda
that's
counts.
why Foz is going on tour. I mean, it would be nice to swerve the audience and be like, have Jericho win, and then
lose
maybe
Monday.
on Monday Night Raw he loses the belt or whatever, somebody takes him out or something, or maybe some shenanigans happen.
Shenanigans.
So yeah, don't need to talk too much about that. Anything special you want to talk about that?
No.
I mean, that match tells itself.
Jericho's going to lose because Fozzie's going on tour. I mean,
Dean Ambrose, Baron Corbin, the IC belt. We were talking earlier. I think the IC belt is what matters. Is one of the belts that actually matters. The Miz built that belt up.
he did.
And when Dean Ambrose took it from him, it was still built up, and he's made it worthwhile. And even though you don't like Baron Corbin's a good bad guy. He's big. He's a dick. He's good in the ring. He can be slow and methodical, or he can be fast and destroy you. And I mean, when you saw him at the Royal Rumble, and I mean, he's the one that eliminated Braun Strowman.
True.
And it felt legit. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I can buy that.
There are very few people that I would have thought would legitimately be able to eliminate
Like,
Braun Strowman.
face to face, nose to nose, yeah, Braun Strowman's way bigger than Baron Corbin, but Baron Corbin's got that I'm badass feel to it.
Right.
And he keeps his shirt on, so you don't get to see the little smiley face belly button.
Is that a tattoo?
No, it's just just the way his
The
abdomen
way his body
is.
works?
His belly button's like this flat, wide thing, and I didn't even notice it. Like, it looked weird.
Yeah.
And I didn't notice it till Matt said that a coworker of his has a hard time looking at Kevin Owens because his belly button looks like a smiley face.
Baron Corbin, you mean?
Baron Corbin, what did I say?
Kevin Owens.
Kevin's Owen, yeah.
Yeah.
Baron Corbin, yeah, I don't want to see Kevin Owens' belly
Yeah,
button.
he can leave his shirt on.
Yeah.
I'm okay with him leaving his shirt on.
Um,
I just love that a guy who's that big is still that athletic.
Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Going back to Baron Corbin, though, my issue with Baron Corbin, I don't know. I just part of it was I saw him in
NXT.
NXT. I saw him in Breaking Ground, and he had just such a shitty attitude that I was just like, I really don't like this guy. Like,
Well, you do realize that was still a TV show.
I know.
Okay.
I know. I'm aware, and I realized that there was a good chance that it was just him playing a character, but there's also just as much chance that he was being legit.
Yeah. When he was interviewed, it was him and he was talking with him and Scott Hall, and they were discussing it. And Scott Hall's like, "So everybody just realized you're a dick, and that's why they turned you heel." And he's like, "Yeah, pretty much."
Fair.
So
Probably he's just an asshole.
well, I think he's still not. I mean, assholes don't do well in the company.
True.
They don't keep assholes around. You
gotta
have to have a certain
you gotta
personality
have
and
somewhat
a certain,
amiable. There we go, amiable.
Yeah.
To get along, so he's got to have some charisma.
so
there.
he can't be just a complete dick to everyone. Like,
or maybe
if
he just
he's
has a great business
I
acumen.
mean, you're a dick and you have
I
friends.
have lots of friends.
So, I mean, they're not real friends. They don't really like
I
him, but
actually pay them.
he pays the money. And it's like,
Lots
by
of
the way, $20 after this.
Yep.
Okay.
Will you take it in blowjobs?
No,
Damn.
not from you at least.
Fair enough. There was a place I was about to go, and since we're on video, I'm not going to.
AJ Styles versus Shane O'Mac.
Yeah.
Here
that
comes
was
the money.
Slightly more. This is also kind of controversial because
It
of the
is.
internet.
The internet thinks that it's going to be a bad match, and
And
we discussed this a
We
little bit
100%
ago.
disagree.
I disagree.
I-
Shane McMahon has had phenomenal matches with Shawn Michaels. He's had phenomenal matches with
Oh God, Shane O'Mac versus Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, Shane O'Mac,
Some
Shawn
of the
Michaels had a great match.
Best work I've ever seen.
Him versus Kurt Angle at King of the Ring was probably one of the best matches still on my list.
Well, and that was him versus a technical wrestler. Like Kurt Angle is arguably the best technical wrestler the WWE's ever seen,
Yeah.
and a lot of that has to do with the fact that he's a fucking gold medal Olympian.
Right.
So, and the fact that Shane O'Mac had this amazing match with him, and Shane O'Mac, like, he just grew up in the business. Like, he trained,
Yeah.
obviously, but he just grew up in the business. So he's, he's not technically, I mean, he's an athlete, but he's not, like, on the same caliber as some of these guys, but he still managed to pull out this amazing match with Kurt Angle. So I
Right.
don't know what everybody's issue is
And then, okay,
with Styles
and
Shadow Mac.
I'm going to do the devil's advocate, and then I'm going to do the devil's advocate for the devil's advocate.
Please do.
So the devil's advocate is, well, he was in a match with Kurt Angle and a match with Shawn Michaels. Those guys can carry anyone.
Okay.
The answer is, he also had a great match against Test
Yeah.
and numerous other people.
Yeah.
And even if you don't take that for an example, okay, he was in the ring with legendary people like Kurt Angle and Shawn Michaels who can carry anyone. He's in a match with AJ Styles!
Who can carry anyone?
Who can carry anyone?
That's a valid. That is a valid point, actually. It's one I hadn't thought about. But yeah, no, I mean,
He's in there with AJ Styles. It's gonna be a great match.
and here's the like, people are on and on about this thing about, oh, this is a waste of AJ Styles' talent. I'm willing to bet that AJ Styles is the first one to go, fuck yes, that is
Yeah.
an amazing idea.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone, it's Shane McMahon who's like, I was supposed to have a match against Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, but now I gotta wrestle AJ Styles. Oh wait, I get to wrestle AJ Styles. Oh my
Yes!
gosh. And
I won't die today.
And here's another thing. You have a match against a McMahon at WrestleMania.
Yeah. After only being in the company for like a year and a half.
Yeah. That's an honor.
That is a huge honor.
You get to have a match against a McMahon. There's only like 3 McMahons that have matches. And I'm not talking about Triple H.
Oh. 3 McMahons that have matches, and only one of them that has had a match in the last 5
Couple
years?
No, Stephanie had a match.
Did she?
Yeah,
Okay,
she had a
that's
really
not-
good match against Brie Bella.
Oh, I would have liked to have seen that.
Yeah, you still can.
I know.
WWE Network, $9.99.
I also have YouTube. That's a thing.
Yeah, I don't think it's on YouTube. Might be
I bet I can find it.
somewhere. You can find anything.
I bet I could get it on the network too. But
So yeah, that's my response to that. That's
So-
my response to the internet.
all y'all internet people, go fuck yourselves.
Yeah.
Internet people are assholes.
GTFO.
We're gonna get
So a match you didn't care about because you haven't watched SmackDown in 4 weeks.
Yep.
You watch Raw, but not SmackDown.
I was trying to catch up in order.
In order would be Raw, SmackDown, Raw, SmackDown, Raw, SmackDown, Raw, SmackDown.
Right,
That
I
would be
just
in
got
order,
to-
not Raw, 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 Raw.
I just-
Shish boom ba.
You know what? I'm not even gonna have this argue with you. What's the match I don't care
Of
about?
course,
is-
because they built it up fantastically.
Oh, this is the John Cena.
John
Nikki
Cena,
Bella.
Nikki Bella versus Miz and Maurice.
Okay.
Miz, as I've said a million times, is a genius on the microphone. To me, he's the best heel on both rosters.
Sure.
Because he can go out there and he can make anyone and everyone hate his guts and boo him, no matter who he's in there with. He can make the "Let's go Cena, Cena sucks" chants go to "Let's go Cena, let's go Cena"
Yeah.
chants. Except for, you've watched Total Divas, Total Bellas, all
Oh
that.
yes. Yeah.
Miz is like, Nikki, he's just in a relationship with you because it looks good on TV. It's not like he's actually going to marry you.
Yeah.
It's not like you're going to get a ring.
That's rough. That's pretty harsh.
And so, and of course, Miz being the talker, he can draw that out.
Oh yeah.
And of course, they let Cena go afterwards. So of course, Cena buries the Miz on the mic, and in a good fashion. It was really entertaining. But the fact that this story is really Miz and Maurice saying, we're better than you because we're better than you. We're better people than you. We're
Yeah.
better in the ring than you.
We're
We're better
better
whatever.
couple than
Yeah,
you.
we're a better couple. We're a better everything than you are. And rub it again in their face.
Yeah.
And of course, Nikki and Cena, they're the heroes because they are the ones on the TV show. They're legitimately good people on the show. John Cena's always really nice, but there are just business things that he's done.
He's so polite.
Yeah, and he's super polite. Everyone
just-
knows he's a good guy.
He's so polite. He's like Steve Rogers polite. It's just insane.
So, I think that the way they've built it is going to be great, regardless of the match. And let's be honest, almost everyone's betting money that Cena's going to propose at the end of it.
Yeah.
And whether it's
Legitimately proposed.
well, it's got to be legit. Because if it's not legit, if it's just for TV or whatever, that would be stupid.
True.
But if he legit proposes, I mean, everybody knows how much that means to Nikki.
Yeah.
But the problem is it's so foreshadowed that Nikki's got to know. If they're going to do that, Nikki's got to know that's the plan.
Yeah. Well, in this day and age, the whole surprising your fiance with a proposal is I mean, it still happens, but it's not as commonplace. A lot of it has to do with the fact that just
In public.
In public. I mean, people are, well, and in general, I think people are more about planning a life as opposed to just being like, oh, hey, by the way. And a lot, because, I mean, people will go engagement ring shopping as a couple and all this stuff. And so I think kind of I don't want to say the age of the surprise proposal is dead, but it's certainly not necessarily as commonplace as it used to be.
Why? It depends on what you consider a surprise proposal. Like, if you talk about it and you know it's a plan that you're going to get married, you just don't know when the proposal is going to happen.
That's true. So, and actually you kind of made my point for me, is that she may know that it's going to happen, she just may not know exactly how he's going to do it. So she may know that he is, and that it's going to be after the match, but she may not know exactly how he's going to do it, because he's going to do something interesting.
Yeah, he's going to get down on one knee and go, you
I don't think that. I think it'll be something bigger than that. I really do.
And of course, if he's going to be the hero good guy, he's going to have to get a ring that's bigger than Maurice's. And if you've seen Maurice's ring, you can't see her finger because it's like this big around.
Yeah, she's got a giant fucking rock.
And also when you watch Total Divas and Total Bellas, because Maurice is on this season, The Miz is actually really a cool guy.
Yeah, he actually seems like a pretty cool, like, we'd actually hang out with him.
Yeah. I'd hang out with him far before I'd hang out with John Cena.
Yeah. John Cena seems so straight-laced.
Yeah. Oh, so the last SmackDown, people here, you watched it. You guys know what's going on.
I didn't.
He's an idiot. He hasn't seen it. They spoofed.
It's like I have other things to do with my life.
Total Divas, John Cena. So Maurice dressed up as Nikki Bella. Maurice way hotter, physically. And The Miz dressed up as John Cena. And he looked like a fucking dork. But it was hilarious because they're like in the house. It's like, I know you've been hinting it a lot lately. But I decided I got you a diamond. Dallas Page DVD combo. I know you've been hinting it a lot, and this is like throughout the thing. I know it's something you really, really want, but I got you a ring. So you can play with all your action figures. Like, that was like the whole thing. It's like, and then she'd say something like, oh, no. You broke rule number 342. No feet on the counter. That's going to be it, and just making fun of the whole John Cena control freak
Total
and all
Bellas,
that.
yeah.
Total Bellas, Total Divas thing. So it was really entertaining. I think it made Miz more over as a good guy than a bad guy because it was hilarious.
Well, and you know that he and Maurice came up with it. And
it was really well done.
Pitched it.
And I'm sure Cena and Nikki were right there helping.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely.
So, yeah, I'm interested in that. I think it'll be a fun match.
After our conversations, I'm a little bit more interested.
It'll be a good spectacle.
I mean, between now and next week, I will catch up and actually have more background as to what's going on.
Tag team belts: Gallows, Anderson, Enzo, Cass, Sheamus, Cesaro. I really don't care.
I don't care who wins. I like Enzo and Cass.
I like Enzo and Cass. I like Sheamus and Cesaro, especially with the whole Mick Foley thing that they did.
Yeah, that was cool.
And Gallows and Anderson really need the win because they've
not really been doing it.
Yeah. I mean, these great big heel tag team guys. Oh,
They're
look, they
doing
both lost to
nothing
Roman
good.
Reigns in a handicap match.
Yeah.
Great. Way to put over your tag team champions. Alexa Bliss versus the entire SmackDown women's roster.
This has the potential of being very cool or very stupid.
So, they haven't specified who's on the SmackDown's roster.
Yeah, we don't actually know what women are.
Lita could show up and have a match.
She won't.
She won't. Anybody from NXT?
Live.
Asuka could show up and have a match.
That would be interesting.
We just signed this person to SmackDown. She's in the match. There's a lot of kind of cluster F matches traditionally. Last 2 years have been ladder matches for the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah.
They don't have a ladder match at WrestleMania right now.
Currently.
Currently.
There's still a week.
we're talking about the women's championship match where Alexa Bliss defends her belt against all the women.
So it could have happened.
We don't have a ladder match
Yeah.
yet.
It
My thought
it's
is that
gonna be a ladder match.
they're going to make it a ladder match. Because Raw's like, oh, we've had the first women's pay-per-view main event, the first women's pay-per-view Hell in a Cell, the first women's this. SmackDown, yeah, we had the first women's ladder match, and it was at WrestleMania.
Yeah, fair enough. Because fuck you, that's why.
With people that can go. And people that are all over. Every woman on that roster is over.
Yeah.
Natalia is over. Everybody knows who she is. They're invested in her. Carmella is over. Her friend who's a boy is with him, James Ellsworth. Becky Lynch is over.
I have to say, I gotta say this.
Say it.
The whole James Ellsworth thing I thought was just going to be a really stupid, ridiculous gimmick. And I was right, but I'm loving the hell out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love James Ellsworth. We could do a whole episode on. We could do a whole video on James Ellsworth.
Out of the whole.
Okay, maybe not a whole one, but
like half of one. I bet we could talk for a solid half an hour about James Ellsworth.
Dear God.
But I thought it was going to be a stupid, ridiculous gimmick, and I was right. But it's still enjoyable as hell.
Yeah. Well, and they put him in a place that he can still entertain the fans.
Right.
And
Exactly.
do stuff, and it's funny because he's obviously a dork, and he's
Right.
he's with Carmella.
Smoking hot. Oh my God.
So yeah, that's my thought on that. I think it's going to be great. No matter what, I'm going to be entertained. It's going to be the first time to see a cluster F match that's I'm entertained for, and I'm looking forward to seeing.
I always enjoy like over the top matches though. So
I don't like the cluster Fs. I don't like the here's the 8-man ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship. It's
I've
like
been swearing up a storm, and yet you're censoring yourself on clusterfuck.
I only swear when it matters.
Fair enough. I swear frequently and prolifically.
So yeah, that's that. We only got a couple matches left. Adrian Neville versus Austin Aries.
It'll be fun. I don't care who wins.
I don't care who wins. I want to watch the match. That's
Yeah.
going to be a phenomenal
It's
match.
gonna be a good match. to
Austin
watch.
Aries is a guy that I think should be on the main roster. Austin Aries is caliber of AJ Styles.
Well, he may well be after this.
He carries himself like a big guy. He carries himself like... I've always said that there are guys that you don't know how big they are. Shawn Michaels,
Yeah.
Chris Jericho,
Mhm.
AJ Styles,
Yep.
Daniel Bryan.
God damn it, Brian.
Like, those are all prolifically smaller wrestlers.
Well, Daniel Bryan's what 5'6". And he's
So,
just-
I mean,
Hey,
Shawn
dude.
Michaels is 6 feet tall.
Right, and
But
and
still.
Chris Jericho's 5'11". I mean,
I
he's
don't.
not,
Yeah,
not
he's
short.
shorter. So these are all like prolifically smaller guys, but when you see them in matches, you see them on TV,
They seem bigger than life.
you forget that they're half our size.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe not literally half our size, but you forget that
Okay.
they're smaller.
Daniel Bryan is half my fucking size.
Daniel Bryan is just as big as AJ Styles, if not bigger, when you watch them nose to nose on camera.
Okay.
Is what I'm saying.
I'm fat.
Well, yeah. 'Cause you're fat. And Austin Aries carries him. Like, when they had him on there, I was like, Austin Aries isn't a cruiserweight. Why is he on the cruiserweight division? Like, yes, Neville is very muscular. Tony Nese is very muscular. They look phenomenal. They don't feel like they can be heavyweights. They
Yeah.
just don't carry themselves that
No.
way.
Austin Aries, you can't really tell half the time.
Austin Aries he carries himself like he's a world heavyweight champion.
Mhm.
He believes in himself like he's a world heavyweight. Heel Neville, on the other hand, I could maybe buy it.
Oh yeah, Heel Neville has been great.
And Heel Neville is phenomenal, and the Cruiserweight Championship, this whole thing is great. Like Gentleman Jack Gallagher.
Love him.
I love him. I watched him in the Cruiserweight Classic. I said, this is phenomenal.
Just his attention to detail, and his
And he's
not just his character, but like in the ring.
Yeah.
His attention to detail and how he sells this character.
Well, and how he just moves. Like every movement he makes in the ring means something.
And it's calculated, every single thing. And like that there is a physical genius.
And he is a performer. Like, he can go in the ring, and he's a performer. And he had a great match against Neville. I'm sad that like the way that they had to build up Neville for WrestleMania was by having him, fight Jack Gallagher and have Jack Gallagher lose. Considering the Cruiserweight Championship has switched hands at every pay-per-view up till then.
Yeah.
But I love the cruiserweight roster. I love watching the matches, and I just hope that they focus more on getting them over.
Yeah.
And I think this WrestleMania match, Austin Aries and Neville are going to blow it out of the water.
I think 205 Live needs network television to be picked up on network, not just on the network.
I think Raw needs to do some more focusing with the cruiserweights on Raw instead of like, we'll put a match here, we'll put a match here, and then whatever.
Yeah.
Part of the variety
They just
show.
feel kind of injected rather than part of the actual show.
Yeah. Make the first hour just, this is the cruiserweight
These
match.
are cruiserweights. And then the last hour is...
The last 2 hours.
The last 2 hours is everything
It's a
else.
3-hour show.
That's right. I only watch on Hulu, so it's an hour and a half.
Yeah. Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Whatever.
I can give a shit.
I want have Jack Gallagher win.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Have him throw on Big Show over the top for the last of it and win the Battle Royal.
Yeah. Sure, why not? I mean, at this point, this is a...
The Battle Royal has done nothing for anyone.
Yeah.
Like the first one was won by Cesaro. We saw how well that went for him.
Yeah.
The second one... Oh yeah, does anybody remember when Paul Heyman was managing Cesaro? No.
No.
Then it was Big Show. Big Show won it.
Yeah.
Year before last. And Big Show didn't need it, and he didn't have any really matches. And, it's an honor. Big Show, Andre the Giant. He's a giant.
Mm-hmm. Baron Corbin won it last year.
And Baron Corbin won it last year. And I guess that's the only time that they kind of meant anything, but they didn't really promote that he's, like, they still say it.
Yeah.
But they didn't really do anything with it. Like, yeah, he won the whatever. Okay, great. Oh, he's in the Royal Rumble. Oh, whatever.
Well, and, I feel like the WWE, particularly in the last few years, has really kind of downplayed a lot of the honors that they offer. So, King of the Ring was Wade Barrett was Wade Barrett. And then he just...
And that wasn't even a pay-per-view.
It wasn't even pay-per-view. He just said, fuck it. And he was King of the Ring, and he's asked for his release because they weren't doing anything with him.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the things that they kind of established back in the day, they've been really downplaying.
Not that they established Andre the Giant Battle Memorial more than 3 years ago.
That was more recent. But a lot of the honors that they have, that they bestow, they don't do anything with. So King of the Ring, the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, that sort of thing. I mean, hell, even the Hall of Fame to some degree.
Hall of Fame is a work.
Which is unfortunate because it shouldn't be.
It
doesn't need to be.
There's an interview with, I want to say Bruce Pritchard or someone on how it works, and people can go look it up. It was an interview with Bruce Pritchard, and I think it was on the Jericho's podcast. And
you told me about this.
And it's really just whoever Vince thinks should go in, whatever.
So long and short of it, just to make real quick. First of all, a work, for those of you who don't know, is a gimmick. It's a made up thing to make people watch, basically. And in this particular instance, Vince McMahon asked this gentleman whose name I can't remember to, and a couple of other folks.
I thought you were just going to go over it quickly, not tell the whole thing.
He asked them to figure some shit out, basically, who everybody thinks should go in the Hall of Fame this year. And there was a couple of different categories. And then once they sent out emails and everything like that. Once they got all the results back, they took it to Vince. And, oh, shut up. They took it to Vince, and Vince just said, okay, here's who's going in the Hall of Fame this year. And that was it. And Vince just made the decision.
Are you done?
Are you?
Sure.
Okay.
So that's our thoughts on WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Nothing?
I'm
excited.
It should
It's
be a
gonna
good
be a
show.
good WrestleMania.
I mean, it's going to be a long show.
It's going to be long. It's going to be drawn out. It's going to be lots of entrances. Some of these matches are going to be just quick squash, whatever.
Some of them should be just quick squash and won't be.
So that's our thoughts. Quick talk over, as quick as we can with 14, 15, 23 matches.
That was ridiculous.
Yeah,
It's like there's no way they're going to fit this in
crazy.
4 hours. There's no way.
I don't think it's 4 hours. I think it's 5 hours.
Is it 5 hours?
I think it's
I
5
always
hours.
thought it was-
I think it's 5 hours
And
with
they
like a 2-hour pre-show.
And they start at 7?
No.
They're starting at 6 this year?
No. I don't know. Our party starts at noon, so.
Yeah. I'll be there at like 3:30.
Anyhow, hope you guys all enjoy WrestleMania. Hope you enjoyed the video. We know it's long, but
And we
whatever.
don't
It's a video.
apologize.
You can pause it
Yeah.
when you want, and you can come
Or just
back.
listen to it.
Or just listen to it like a podcast, whatever
Yeah.
you want.
Because it's not like we're doing that much. I mean, we're animatedly talking, but, ow. I actually didn't really hurt. But
Anyhow, have a good one. I'm going to post this sometime this week.
woo!
Before WrestleMania.
Yay!